On the 7th of May 2025, 4 individuals were sentenced in Kenya for trying to smuggle, collectively, thousands of live ants out of that country. Authorities there say the case is unprecedented and signals a shift in trafficking from larger mammals to lesser known yet ecologically critical species. Hi, I'm Caryn Dolley and I'm an author and journalist at Daily Maverick. The Kenya ant saga involves 2 cases and more than 5,000 of the insects. In the one case, a man from Kenya and another from Vietnam were arrested, while the second case involved 2 Belgian teens. All 4 were discovered trying to smuggle live ants sourced in nature out of Kenya. They pleaded guilty, and in May 2025, they were each fined about 141,500 rand or a year in prison. Listen to this Al Jazeera English news clip published in May 2025.
Life in jail is the maximum penalty for wildlife trafficking in Kenya. These men pleaded guilty to trafficking ants. They told the court they collected them for a hobby. The magistrate didn't buy it. She said they're more than 5,000 ant queens carefully packed in test tubes appeared to be ready for sale as exotic pets in Europe and Asia, where they could be worth nearly $1 million. But she gave them less than the minimum sentence. They'll have to pay nearly $8,000 in fines. She ruled their crime was serious, but didn't compare to poaching elephants.
The 4 had targeted mesocephalotes, an ant species native to Kenya. Authorities intercepted the ants hidden in specially modified test tubes and syringes, which were designed to keep the ants alive for up to 2 months, but also to evade airport security mechanisms, including X-rays. Here's the thing. Ants contribute to seed distribution as well as soil aeration and fertilization. In other words, they promote soil health. Permitting documents are needed in certain cases in South Africa, especially when it comes to moving queen ants, which are reproducing females from nature. For example, according to the Western Cape's Nature Conservation Ordinance, if someone receives queen ants from another person, they need a document stating that person's full name, address, and where they got the queens from. Now, there are hobbyists who legally keep ants to study them, but there are also traffickers targeting the insects, and for them, size matters. Illegally targeted ants are usually bigger than the ones found in homes, which are often considered pests. And while we're on the subject of the small but significant, help support independent journalism by becoming a Maverick Insider. Details are in the caption below. So, crooks are going after the larger insects to get them into the exotic pet market, an arena which involves owners under the impression it's admirable to own wildlife. When looking into the illegal live ant trade, I established that while crimes linked to the insects do not seem to be prevalent in South Africa, there have been attempts from individuals in other countries, including Europe and Asia, to illegally procure colonies from here. Now, South Africa's National Police were unable to respond to my queries on ant smuggling. And in the Western Cape, where the poaching of succulent plants is a major problem, a police spokesperson said no ant crimes had been picked up. The South African National Biodiversity Institute, meanwhile, is aware of the issue, and an entomologist, Ludwig Ekstein, believes that traffickers are indeed eyeing this country's ants. When researching the ant trade, I also came across a species native to South Africa that ended up in a store in Europe. The same species, Camponotus fulvipilosus, was listed as out of stock on a German-based online ant store. A customer note on that website says, "There's currently a water shortage in South Africa. This has been the case for the past 5 years. It is difficult to find any colonies here at all." The owner of that German ant store told Daily Maverick if the species was previously available there, it came from legal, documented sources. He added that ant smuggling was best described as the wildlife trade for the poor, and it was small scale, high risk, and with minimal profit. So, why all the fuss about ant smuggling? Well, a sentencing document used in one of the recent Kenya cases explains things succinctly. It says this kind of smuggling is an offense which causes devastation, which we won't immediately see, but which will impact the environment, ecosystems, and generations. The sentencing document says, already the world has lost a number of species due in part to greed. It is time to stem this tide. While this crime may seem like something small, much like the insects at the center of it, it can still have massive impact.